Today we are going to talk about how to reverse hair loss, and I am also going to give you the number one best meal if you want to grow your hair back. Now I know what you are thinking, you have heard this before. But what I am going to share today is different. We're going to go all the way down to the root cause, the actual biological mechanism, and give you a real layered plan that works. Stay with me the whole way through because every single piece of this builds on the last. Why hair loss happens? The most common cause of hair loss is androgenic, and I want to explain exactly what that means because most people only half understand it. In men, this shows up as that classic pattern baldness, hair loss on the top of the head. In women, it's more of a general thinning through the crown area rather than a receding hairline. Now here is something that should make you stop and think. How can a man grow thick, full hair on his chin and jaw a complete beard, but at the exact same time have zero hair on the top of his head? Same body, same blood, same hormones circulating through the same system. Yet one area grows hair and the other completely stops. That's not random. That's biology telling us something very specific. And understanding that question is the entire key to solving this problem. Let me build a little foundation first. Picture one of your hairs. Underneath your scalp, wrapped around the base of that hair, is a structure called a follicle. Now, the follicle is not the hair itself a lot of people think it is. The follicle is the environment around the hair. It's a tiny living factory that the hair grows from. Think of it exactly like soil in a garden. The hair is the plant. The follicle is the soil. And just like a plant can only grow as well as its soil allows, your hair can only grow as well as the follicle environment supports it. What makes this follicle so demanding is that it needs two things constantly: a tremendous supply of oxygen and a massive amount of cellular energy, which is produced by structures inside your cells called mitochondria. When the follicle is healthy, well oxygenated, energized, and inflammation-free, hair grows strong. When that environment breaks down, hair stops. Simple as that. The 6-layer solution. Now let's get into the full solution. These layers work together, compounding on each other. Don't just pick one. Layer 1, reverse insulin resistance. This is the non-negotiable foundation of everything. If this layer is weak, nothing built on top of it will hold. Think of insulin resistance like soil that has been trampled, compacted, and stripped of nutrients for years. It doesn't matter how expensive the seed is or how carefully you plant it, nothing grows in soil that can't breathe. When insulin levels stay chronically elevated, your body shifts into storage mode. Fat storage increases, inflammation rises, blood vessels stiffen, and circulation declines. Hair follicles are extremely sensitive to these metabolic shifts. Elevated insulin also increases androgen activity, which indirectly fuels DT production. So even before we talk about blocking that directly, we have to understand that insulin resistance is quietly amplifying the entire problem. Fixing this means eliminating processed carbohydrates, refined sugars, sweetened drinks, and ultra-processed snacks. Prioritize whole foods, quality protein, healthy fats, fibrous vegetables, and stable blood sugar patterns. Intermittent fasting can help some people improve insulin sensitivity. Strength training is powerful because muscle tissue acts like a glucose sponge, pulling sugar out of the bloodstream without needing excessive insulin. When insulin sensitivity improves, inflammation decreases, circulation improves, and hormone balance stabilizes. Now the soil is ready. Now the follicle environment becomes responsive. Everything else you apply, supplements, oils, stimulation, works exponentially better once the metabolic foundation is restored. Layer 2, zinc and vitamin. If insulin resistance is a soil, zinc and vitamin D are the fertilizer and water that bring it back to life. Zinc plays a direct role in inhibiting 5-alpha reductase, the enzyme responsible for converting testosterone into DHT. But it does much more than that. Zinc regulates immune function in the scalp, supports protein synthesis, and activates growth factors that signal follicles to re-enter the growth phase. Inside every hair follicle are stem cells that determine whether hair grows thick, thin, or not at all. In many cases of hair thinning, those stem cells are not dead, they're dormant. Think of them like construction workers sitting inside a building with no electricity. The structure is still there, but there's no power. Vitamin D works at the receptor level. It literally flips genetic switches that activate follicle stem cells. Low vitamin D is strongly associated with hair thinning and autoimmune-related hair loss. Without sufficient vitamin D, those growth signals remain silent. Aiming for around 10,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily and 30 to 40 mg of zinc can create a powerful internal signal for regrowth. Of course, individual needs vary and testing levels is ideal. But together, zinc and vitamin D form the biological wake-up call for dormant follicles. Layer 3. Natural DHT inhibitors. Beyond zinc, there are natural compounds that gently slow down DHT production without shutting down the entire hormonal system. Pharmaceutical drugs act like a sledgehammer. They drastically suppress DHT across the whole body. Natural inhibitors work more like a dimmer switch. They reduce pressure on the follicle without destabilizing everything else. Saw palmetto has been studied for its ability to reduce 5-alpha reductase activity. Pumpkin seed oil has shown measurable improvements in hair density in clinical studies. XCG from green tea reduces oxidative stress while gently modulating DHT pathways. Peppermint oil improves circulation while also influencing local androgen activity. Imagine DHT as constant pressure squeezing the follicle. These natural compounds act like a team of security guards slowly easing that pressure. They don't shut down testosterone. They don't disrupt systemic hormones aggressively. They simply give the follicle breathing room. And that breathing room matters. Because once DHT pressure is reduced even slightly, follicles that were shrinking can stabilize, and once stabilized, they can begin thickening again. Layer 4. Mechanical scalp stimulation. This is the layer almost everyone ignores, and it may be one of the most transformative. Over time, chronic inflammation and date exposure can lead to fibrosis, a buildup of stiff, scar-like tissue around the follicle. That scar tissue restricts blood flow and oxygen delivery. Even if nutrients are available in the bloodstream, they physically cannot reach the follicle effectively. Think of an abandoned field. The soil becomes hard, cracked, and compacted. Before you plant anything, you have to break it open. That's what microneedling does. A dermaroller or microneedling device creates thousands of controlled micro-injuries. This stimulates collagen remodeling, breaks down fibrotic tissue, increases blood flow, and triggers a healing cascade that releases growth factors directly at the follicle level. The body responds by sending stem cells, oxygen, and nutrients to the area. Essentially, you are forcing the scalp to regenerate. Aggressive scalp massage can help improve circulation and loosen tissue, but microneedling penetrates deeper and produces a stronger regenerative response. Combined with the internal layers you've already built, this becomes a powerful signal for follicles to wake up. Layer 5 red and near-infrared light therapy. Now we go even deeper to the cellular power plants. Inside every follicle are mitochondria. These tiny structures produce AP, the energy currency of the cell. Without AP, nothing functions. The follicle may be structurally intact, but if the mitochondria are weak, growth stalls. Red light around 630, 616 m, and near-infrared light around 810, 815 m penetrate the scalp and directly stimulate mitochondrial activity. They increase ATP production, reduce oxidative stress, and improve cellular signaling. Think of the follicle as a factory. The machinery is there, the workers are there, but the electricity has been cut off. Red light therapy plugs the factory back into the power grid. Research in photobiomodulation shows improvements in hair density, thickness, and growth rate when used consistently. It's also being studied for brain health and vision restoration because mitochondrial function affects everything. When combined with microneedling, you're not only breaking up scar tissue, you're restoring energy production at the deepest cellular level. Layer 6. Rosemary oil. Minoxidil works by dilating blood vessels and increasing blood flow. That's its mechanism. It does not block DHT. It does not repair mitochondria, it simply improves circulation. Rosemary oil does that and more. Its natural compounds improve circulation, reduce inflammation, offer mild DT inhibition, and provide antioxidant protection for the follicle. It enhances oxygen delivery while simultaneously protecting the follicle from oxidative stress. Think of minoxidil as a single screwdriver. Rosemary oil is a multi-tool. Multiple studies have shown rosemary oil performing comparably to minoxidil over time. The key is consistency. It should be diluted properly with a carrier oil and applied regularly. Over weeks and months, it compounds with the internal metabolic improvements, the nutrient support, the DHT modulation, the mechanical stimulation, and the light therapy. Each layer alone helps, but together, they transform the entire follicle environment. Hair regrowth is not about one miracle product. It's about restoring the soil, reducing hormonal pressure, rebuilding circulation, reactivating stem cells, energizing mitochondria, and protecting the follicle from inflammation all at once. That's how you move from temporary improvement to true structural restoration. The best meal for hair growth. You can apply everything above and still be starving your follicles from the inside if your nutrition is poor. Here is the single best meal you can eat to support hair growth from a nutrient standpoint. Liver with onions. Liver is the most nutrient-dense food available for hair health. It contains heme iron, the most bioavailable form of iron that exists, and iron is critical for oxygen transport through the blood to the follicle. It's also one of the richest sources of zinc, copper, selenium, and B vitamins, every one of which plays a direct role in follicle function. Onions bring quercetin, a powerful natural anti-inflammatory that directly targets scalp inflammation. Sauerkraut. Half a cup contains around 700 milligrams of vitamin C and over 600 different phytonutrients, many of which actively lower DHT and reduce inflammation. It also strengthens the gut, and a healthy gut means you actually absorb the nutrients you're consuming instead of passing them through. Pumpkin seeds. Rich in magnesium, zinc, and trace minerals, pumpkin seeds also act as a natural 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, meaning they actively help lower DHT with every bite. This one meal delivers more hair-supporting nutrition than most people get in an entire week. Now, at the foundation of all of this is still insulin resistance. This is probably what started the whole problem in the first place. Apply these 6 layers, fix your diet, and give your follicles the environment they need to come back. And if you found this helpful, subscribe right now and hit the bell. There are thousands of people on this channel figuring out their health the right way, and we'd love to have you with us.